Alright folks, gather around because Uncle John's about to drop some truth bombs on you. We all know America, the land of the bald eagle, apple pie, and well, questionable reality TV. But what about the stories they don't teach you in school? Buckle up, buttercups, because we're diving headfirst into the wacky, the wild, and the downright unbelievable side of US history. Get ready for presidential pranks, forgotten heroes, and enough bizarre historical tidbits to make your head spin faster than a disco ball at Studio 54. This ain't your grandpappy's history lesson, folks. This is about to get real weird. So, are you ready to have your mind blown? Let's go. Sure, those powdered wig-wearing dudes on the money look all serious and statesmanlike, but trust me, even the founding fathers had their quirks. Take Benjamin Franklin, for example. Brilliant inventor? Absolutely. Founding father? You betcha. But did you know he also enjoyed penning some seriously scandalous essays in his youth? We're talking essays with titles like Fart Proudly. Yes, you read that right. And Thomas Jefferson? Declaration of Independence, Louisiana Purchase, all that jazz, very impressive. But he also kept meticulous records of his vegetable garden. I'm talking detailed entries about the size and shape of his cucumbers. See, even the founding fathers were just regular dudes, albeit with a penchant for revolution and oddly shaped vegetables. Who knew history could be so human, right? Now, let's talk about those commanders-in-chief. The leaders of the free world, the presidents of the United States, have always been figures of immense power and responsibility. But behind the scenes they were also human beings with quirks, humor, and a penchant for mischief. Turns out, running the country wasn't always serious business. These leaders, often seen as stoic and composed, had their moments of levity and fun. They found ways to unwind and enjoy themselves, sometimes in the most unexpected ways. They liked to have a little fun too, sometimes at each other's expense. Whether it was through practical jokes, witty remarks, or playful banter, these moments added a touch of humanity to their otherwise demanding roles. Take President Calvin Coolidge, known for being a man of few words. His silence was legendary, and he often used it to his advantage, creating memorable moments that have been passed down through history. One day, a group of tourists visiting the White House claimed they bet they could get him to say more than 3 words. They were eager to break his famous silence and see if they could get him to open up. Coolidge calmly replied, "You lose." His quick wit and brevity left the tourists both amused and defeated, adding to the legend of Silent Cal. And then there's the story of Andrew Jackson's pet parrot. Jackson, known for his fiery temper and strong personality, had a parrot that was just as colorful in language as it was in appearance. This bird apparently had a potty mouth and learned a whole repertoire of swear words. It was said that the parrot picked up these words from Jackson himself, who was known for his salty language. During Jackson's funeral, the parrot was swearing up a storm, causing quite the scandal. The guests were shocked and amused, and the incident became a legendary tale of the White House. These are just a couple of examples of the lighter side of the presidency. Despite the weight of their responsibilities, these leaders found moments to laugh, joke, and enjoy life. Remind yourself next time you're feeling stressed, even presidents like to let loose every now and then. Their stories remind us that no matter how serious the job, there's always room for a little fun and humanity. Beyond the big names, countless unsung heroes shaped America. These individuals, often overlooked in history books, played crucial roles in the development and progress of the nation. Their contributions, though not always recognized, were vital in building the America we know today. These folks might not have fancy monuments or their faces on money, but their stories deserve to be told. They lived lives of quiet dedication, often facing immense challenges and adversity. Their legacies, though not always celebrated, are woven into the very fabric of our society. Take stagecoach Mary Fields, the first African-American woman to deliver mail for the U.S. Postal Service. Born into slavery, she gained her freedom and went on to become a legendary figure in the American West. This tough-as-nails lady braved harsh weather, dangerous terrain, and even bandits to ensure the mail got through. Her determination and resilience made her a beloved figure in her community. Seriously, she carried a rifle and a revolver. Mary Fields was not just a mail carrier, she was a symbol of strength and perseverance in a time when African-American women faced significant obstacles. Or consider Sybil Ludington, the female Paul Revere you never heard of. Her midnight ride was just as daring and crucial as Revere's, yet her story remains largely untold. At just 16 years old, she rode through the night, warning colonists of approaching British troops during the Revolutionary War. Her bravery and quick thinking helped mobilize the militia, playing a key role in the fight for independence. Talk about a teenager with serious courage. Sybil's story is a testament to the impact young people can have, even in the most challenging of times. These remarkable individuals remind us that heroism comes in all forms, and that sometimes the greatest stories are those waiting to be rediscovered. Their lives and deeds continue to inspire us, urging us to look beyond the headlines and appreciate the everyday heroes among us. Section 5. That time we almost went to war with Canada, over pigs. Yes, you read that right. The United States and Canada, those peace-loving neighbors, almost threw down over a pig. In 1859, an American farmer shot a pig that wandered onto his property from the British-controlled San Juan Islands. This sparked a diplomatic crisis known as the Pig War. Both sides sent troops, and things got tense. Luckily, cooler heads prevailed, and the only casualty of the war was the unfortunate pig. Sometimes even the silliest events can have international consequences. Makes you appreciate the value of good fences and well-behaved livestock. Section 6. Pop Culture Shockers, America's Weird and Wonderful Fads. America, the land of opportunity, and some seriously wacky fads. Remember pet rocks? Yep, those were a thing. People paid actual money for plain old rocks in cardboard boxes. Genius marketing or collective insanity? You decide. Then there was the streaking craze of the 1970s, where people thought it was a brilliant idea to run around naked in public places. Look, I'm all for expressing yourself, but maybe put some pants on first? These fads might seem bizarre now, but they remind us that even in the land of the free, sometimes we all just follow the crowd, even if it means buying a rock or bearing it all for the world to see. Section 7. Everyday Inventions with Extraordinary Pasts. Ever wonder about the origins of everyday objects? Well, buckle up, because some have surprisingly wacky backstories. Take the humble potato chip. Legend has it that this crunchy snack was invented in 1853 by a disgruntled chef who, in a fit of pique, sliced potatoes paper thin and fried them to a crisp to spite a picky customer. And then there's bubble wrap. Originally intended to be textured wallpaper, this packing peanuts predecessor didn't quite catch on as interior design. But hey, at least it found its calling, protecting our fragile online purchases from the perils of the postal service. These quirky tales remind us that innovation can come from the most unexpected places, and that sometimes even failures can lead to unexpected successes. Section 8. Conspiracy Theories. From Area 51 to Elvis. America loves a good conspiracy theory. From Area 51 and its supposed alien residents to the persistent belief that Elvis is alive and well and sipping margaritas in Mexico, our country's got a knack for weaving tales of mystery and intrigue. Did aliens crash land in Roswell, New Mexico, in 1947? Is there a secret society controlling the world from the shadows? And did the government fake the moon landing? These questions have fueled countless debates, books, and late-night radio shows for decades. While evidence for these theories might be shaky at best, they remind us of our boundless curiosity and our endless fascination with the unknown. Section 9. The Great American Tapestry, a never-ending story. This chapter delves into the intricate and often surprising threads that make up the rich fabric of American history. It's a tale that spans centuries, filled with moments of triumph, tragedy, and everything in between. So there you have it, folks, a glimpse into the weird, wild, and wonderfully human side of American history. From presidential pranks to potato chip origins, these stories offer a unique perspective on the past. They show us that history isn't just a series of dry facts and dates, but a living, breathing narrative full of color and character. These stories remind us that history is more than just dates and battles. It's about the people, the events, and the small, often overlooked moments that have shaped our world. It's about the everyday heroes who made a difference, the unsung legends who left their mark, and the quirky characters who added a touch of humor and humanity to the grand tapestry of time, and the quirks that shape a nation's identity. These quirks, these little oddities, are what make history so fascinating. They remind us that even the most serious moments in history had their lighter sides, and that sometimes it's the unexpected twists and turns that make the story truly unforgettable. As you've seen, the fabric of American history is woven with threads of humor, absurdity, and a healthy dose of the unexpected. It's a story that's constantly evolving, full of surprises, and always open to interpretation. Each generation adds its own chapter, its own unique perspective, to this never-ending story. And a healthy dose of the unexpected. It's these unexpected moments that often leave the most lasting impressions. They challenge our perceptions, make us question what we thought we knew, and inspire us to look at the world in new and different ways. It's a story that's constantly evolving, full of surprises, and always open to interpretation. History is not a static thing. It's a dynamic, ever-changing narrative that reflects the complexities and contradictions of the human experience. It's a story that belongs to all of us, and one that we all have a role in shaping, and always open to interpretation. Each of us brings our own perspective, our own experiences, to the story of history. We see it through our own eyes, interpret it through our own lens, and in doing so, we add our own unique voice to the chorus of voices that make up the historical record. So next time you're feeling cynical about the state of the world, remember those founding fathers and their fart jokes, those presidential pranksters, and those everyday heroes who dared to be different. Remember that history is full of surprises, full of moments that defy expectations and challenge the status quo. Remember those founding fathers and their fart jokes, those presidential pranksters, and those everyday heroes who dared to be different. These stories remind us that even the most revered figures in history were human, with their own quirks and flaws. They remind us that it's okay to be different, to be imperfect, and that sometimes it's those very imperfections that make us who we are, and those everyday heroes who dared to be different. Because in the end, it's those quirks, those imperfections that make history, and indeed life itself, so darn interesting. It's the unexpected moments, the surprising twists, and the human stories that make the past come alive. Because in the end, it's those quirks, those imperfections, that make history, and indeed, life itself, so darn interesting. It's the unexpected moments, the surprising twists, and the human stories that make the past come alive. They remind us that history is not just about what happened, but about how it happened and why it happened. And indeed, life itself, so darn interesting. And that, my friends, is the real untold story of America. It's a story that's still being written, a story that's as diverse and dynamic as the people who live it. It's a story that's full of surprises, full of contradictions, and full of life. And that, my friends, is the real untold story of America. It's a story that's still being written, a story that's as diverse and dynamic as the people who live it. It's a story that's full of surprises, full of contradictions, and full of life. So let's keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep adding our own chapters to this never-ending story.